الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا مولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. Let's all make the dua together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. Allahumma 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna 'ilma. Ya muqallibal qulub, thabbit qulubana 'ala dinik. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, kayfa halukum? Alhamdulillah. We also included a tour of the Mosque of Cape Town as part of the course, so welcome to Yokra, alhamdulillah. Okay, bismillah, I haven't seen you for a while, eh? Have you been working? Allah. Our projectors are looking a bit weird, but let's just look at our books for now. So which exercise was for homework? Maybe we can open it and just check quickly. Okay, so last week you did the sound feminine plural. What do we call a sound feminine plural in Arabic? Jam'un mu'annathun salimun. All together? Jam'un mu'annathun salimun. One more time. Jam'un mu'annathun salimun. What do you call a masculine plural? Mudhakkarun salimun. Good. So it was 1.14 for homework. Oh, and 13 or 13 were all homework. No, 13 was new. 13. Okay. So first of all, let's just practice, inshallah. We'll go to page number 14. Page number 14. Page number 14. And we'll just say it verbally, inshallah. So, muslimatun, and then muslimatun, muslimatin. So, all together, muslimatun, 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 muslimatin. Next one. Sadiqatun, sadiqatun. Good, next one. Mu'minatin. All together, mushrikatun, 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 mushrikatin. Al-fasiqatu, al-fasiqatu, al-fasiqati. As-sabiratu, al-kafiratu, okay. Zalimatun, mustaghfiratun, nasiratun, qanitatun, al-mujrimatu, al-mujrimatu, al-mujrimati. Oh, sorry. Al-munfiqatu, 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 al-munfiqati. So the first lesson from last week was just a reminder is that if you want to make a sound masculine plural, what do you add? Una or ina, depending on the hal now. Which one goes under Raf column? Rafun? Una. Nasbun? Ina. Jarrun? Ina. So muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina. Then last week you learned if you want to make a sound feminine plural, what do you add? Atun or atu, depending if it's al no al. Atun or atin? Atun or atin? There's no atan or atah. Even in nasb, there's no atah. There's no muslimata. You ask me, there's only two here. Muslimatun, muslimatin. Or al-muslimatu, al-muslimati. So that's the first, that's a simple lesson. And then in terms of the hal, which one do I put under the raf'un column? Atu, muslimatu. What do I put under the nasb column? Ati. And the jar column? Ati. So if you understand that, then you got it. Do you have it? Okay. Bismillah. Let's go to 1.14. 1.14 and 1.15. We will just read the tables together. I'll put the answer on the screen, but you will read it. So Bismillah, Muslimatun all together. Muslimatun, Muslimatan, Muslimatin, Muslimatani, Muslimataini, Muslimataini, Muslimatun, Muslimatin, Muslimatin. Let's pause it for 1 second. Is often in Arabic a female word into the ta marbuta. You with me? Like Muslimatun. So when you see when you still add ani, but because you converted the ta marbuta to a ta, it has a tani sound. You with me? So the tani is generally a sign that the word is feminine. Tani. If it's two Muslims male, what do you say? Two Muslims male? Muslimani or Muslimaini. But females? Muslimatani or Muslimataini. So watch out for the tani and the taini. Next one. Al-Muslimatu, Bismillah. Al-Muslimatu, Al-Muslimata, Al-Muslimati. Okay, good. Next one. What's the next one? Salihatun, Bismillah. Salihatun, Salihatan, Salihatin, Salihatani, Salihataini, Salihataini, Salihatun, Salihatin, Salihatin. As-salihatu, as-salihatu, as-salihata, as-salihati, as-salihatani, as-salihataini, as-salihataini, as-salihatu, as-salihati, as-salihati. Next page. As-sabiratu, Bismillah. As-sabiratu. You guys have like a rough weekend or something? As-sabiratu, as-sabirata, as-sabirati. Where's the life? You guys are right. Almost like you're riding a cycle tour. Okay, I think just take a moment, inshallah. 1.15 to say to your partner. Each one take one or two tables. Say to your partner from memory, inshallah, not from the book, from memory. 1.15. Say a table to your partner from memory, inshallah. It will warm you up. From memory, inshallah. Okay, Bismillah. So we as-sabiratu. All together, as-sabiratu. As-sabiratu. As-sabirata. As-sabirati. As-sabiratu. As-sabirati. As-sabirati. Qanitatun. Oh, what's happening? Let's first qanitatun. Bismillah. Qanitatun. Qanitatan. Qanitatin. Qanita. There's a mistake there, no? It must be qanitatani. Qanitataini. Qanitataini. And the last one? Qanitatun. Qanitatin. Qanitatin. So mistake there with a dual there. Must be qanitatani. Two tas. One ta from the word qanit and one ta from ta marbuta. Na'am. Mustaghfiratun. Bismillah. Mustaghfiratun. Mustaghfiratan. Mustaghfiratin. Mustaghfiratani. Mustaghfirataini. Mustaghfirataini. Mustaghfiratun. Mustaghfiratin. Mustaghfiratin. One more. Al-mu'minatu. This is the last one. Al-mu'minatu. Al-mu'minata. Al-mu'minati. Al-mu'minata. Al-mu'minataini. Al-mu'minataini. Al-mu'minatu. Al-mu'minati. Al-mu'minati. Okay. So 1.16 also for homework. It's a masjid, no, you must be honest, no? I mean, always be honest, but I mean, some more honest. 1.16 homework? No. It would make sense to do it for homework, eh? It would have made sense to have it for homework, eh? It didn't have for homework. I'll check your homework summary. Okay, so what I'll do, inshallah, I'll give you what you must do in 1.16. Okay, let's look at the screen first. Sorry, your screen is a bit not working. But we're going to use an acronym called GEND. GEND. How do you spell GEND? G-E-N-D. GEND. GEND. So G-E-N-D is how many letters? 4 letters. 4 letters. So what that means is that you must be able to tell me 4 things about a word. So G will stand for what? Gender. So how many genders are there in Arabic? 2, which are what? Masculine and feminine. In Arabic it's called what? Masculine is called what? And mu'annath. So G is for gender. E is for encasing. In Arabic we say the hal, the encasing. So how many hals are there? 3, which are what? Raf'un, Nasbun, Jarrun. There's 3 encasing. So you must be able to tell me the hal, the encasing of a word. N is for what? Number. In Arabic called number called adad. But not worry about the it's called what? But let's learn now quickly. Adad. One more time. Adad. Number, when I say number, I mean either the word is singular or dual. If it's dual, I don't know if it's dual. Aini. Or it's going to be jam'un, which is what in English? Plural. So when you say number, it's either single, dual, plural. And obviously different types of plural, male plural, female plural, and so on. That's going to be in terms of number. And the last one is going to be definiteness. What do I mean by definiteness? Either definite or indefinite. What do you say definite in Arabic? Ma'arifa or nakira, indefinite. For example, so if I have the word muslimani, now I ask you what is the gend of the word? Not the gender, the gend. So you tell me 4 things of muslimani. What's the gender of muslimani? Male, mudhakkar. Why? It's not a tani word. If it was female, it would have been muslima tani. It's muslimani. You good so far? What's the encasing, the hal? Just shout out something. Okay, I can jar, raf and nas, mashallah. Best mathematically, you know what I mean? So just take a moment and think about it first. Muslimani. And then which column does the ani go? So remember, I can't look at the e only, I must see if it's a combination word. Did other jar people can convert now to rafun or what? Or you still there by rafun? You still there by jarun? Okay, so it's rafun. That's rafun. Because if there had to be nasb or jar, it would have been aini, muslimaini. Remember, ani, first column, aini, next to column. So that's encasing. Then in stands for number. In Arabic, number is what? What Arab? Adad. Adad. Okay, number is adad. So what's the number? Is it single, dual or plural? Muslimani. Dual. Those two. Muslimani, dual. And finally, definiteness. Definiteness. Is it definite or indefinite? It's going to be what? Nakira, indefinite, because there's no al. But with the duals and the plurals, there's no tanween. Okay, that's only for the single words and for some other plurals. Okay, so this is actually where you arrive now, that you're able to say the gend of a word. Make sense? You understand the mind map? So in your mind, you've learned 4 things about the word. You've learned the gender, Mudhakkar Mu'annath. You've learned the encase in the hal, Ra. You've learned the adad, whether it's single, whether it's dual, ani, aini, or whether it's plural, una, ina, atun, atin. And you've learned the definiteness, whether it's al or not al. So if you look at exercise 1.16, what you must do is you must underline all the isms. So let's underline the isms quickly. Inna, is inna ism? Or you underline the isms that have a sign of a ism. Is al-muslimina ism? Underline that, yes. Wal-muslimat. Why starts with an al? Why just means and? Why means and? The word starts with an al. Next one. Wal-mu'minin ism. The why isn't the ism, eh? The al-mu'minin is the ism. The wa means and. We 1.16. Inna al-muslimina wal-muslimati wal-mu'minina wal-mu'minat. Ism? Yes. Wal-qanitina. Ism? Yes. Wal-qanitat. والصادقين والصادقات والصابرين والصابرات والخاشئين والخاشئات والمتصدقين والمتصدقات والصائمين والصائمات والحافظين. Until there, it's actually all isms. Every single word there except the wa is all ism. You with me? فروجهم لي for now. وحافظات ism. ذاكرين ism. The word Allah, lafzul jalala, is going to be ism because the name of a being. Okay, because the name of a being. Kathiran is an ism. Does it have a sign of a ism? Yes, as a what at the end? Tanween. Tanween sign of a ism, you underline kathiran. وَالذَّاكِرَاتِ Alif lam ism. A'adda Allahu, a'adda now. Allah, the word Allah, yes, lafzul jalala, lahum, maghfiratan, lahum now. Maghfiratan. Why? Ta marbuta ana as a tanween. Wa ajran, ajran. Yes, why? Tanween. Azima. Yes, tanween. Wa ma kana li mu'minin. Yes, mu'minin, yes. Wala mu'minatin. Yes. Idha qada Allahu, qada now, idha now. The word Allah, yes. The word Rasuluhu also, but just leave it out for now because it doesn't have any sign on there. Amran, yes. Ayyakuna lahumul khiyaratu. Yes, there's an al there, anta marbuta, al khiyaratu. Ism. Min amrihim wa may ya'sillaha, wa may ya'sillaha. The word Allah again, lafzul jalala. Wa rasulahu, rasul as well, but leave it out for now. Faqad dalla dalalan. Yes. Mubinan. Yes. Okay, I'm giving you 10 minutes, inshallah. Question? Okay, good observation there, but so the ya with no dots is a sign of mu'annath, but that is actually a verb there. Okay, but you won't know for now. But that qada is actually a verb for now. So 10 minutes, inshallah. You make groups of 4 or 5. Each person takes a word, Muslimina, and they give you the gender. Let's go do Muslimina quickly. What's the gender? Muslimina. Masculine mudhakkar. What's the encasing the hal? Nasb or jar. Nasb or jar. What's the number? Jam'un, a plural. What type of plural? Jam'un mudhakkarun salimun. What's the definiteness? Ma'rifa. Okay. I know it's a bit like tedious to go through like all the categories, but it's good practice, inshallah. 10 minutes and then we're going to move on to the new lesson. 10 minutes and new lesson, inshallah. Make sure everybody in your group understands this, inshallah. Okay, bismillah. Okay, Bismillah, let's go. Any questions on that exercise? Okay. So obviously also, I didn't mention explicitly, but if it's a sound feminine plural like muslimatu or mu'minati or sabirati, then the gender will also be feminine. If it's a sound feminine plural, then the gender will be feminine. Okay. Make sense? Okay, for example, the word muslimatun. Muslimatun. Let's go to the table quickly, since it makes it easier to see it. Where am I going here? Okay. I have the word al-mu'minatu. Can you see the first line has ta marbuta? The first line has ta marbuta, therefore it's feminine. Okay, but if I go down, the last line, there's no ta marbuta. But it's just the feminine of that. It's just the plural of the feminine word. You with me? Al-mu'minatu, al-mu'minati, al-mu'minati. Therefore, all those words in the last line are also feminine. You with me? Even though you can't see the ta marbuta, but it comes from a ta marbuta word. You following me? So it's a sound feminine plural. Okay. Easy stuff, eh? Okay. No, but alhamdulillah, this is actually okay. Let's carry on, inshallah, because today is your last lesson on end. The next week we start with sentences, inshallah. So that's going to be the exciting part. Then you're going to see why we're doing all of this. But let's get there, inshallah. Let's get there first. Okay. If I were to ask you, say, imagine I was trying to learn English, and then I asked you in English, I'm getting very confused with plurals in English. Can you give me a guideline on how to make plurals in English? Okay. So I want you to take just 2 minutes with your group, inshallah. Just write out a guideline on how to make plurals in English. How do you make plurals in English? Do you just add is, or what do you do? Okay, so let me hear your rules quickly. How do you make plurals in English? Okay, add other things. So, okay, one category you can add is. Give example. But books have all changed. So books is adding the S one. Okay. Vowel changes, like what? So from mouse to mice, and house to heis. No. Which other rule changes can you give me? IES for what? So what's the rule there? If it ends with what, it becomes what? Ends with a Y, becomes IES. Okay, what else? Okay. Okay, so I'll make it simple. Let's agree on the R words in English where you add an S. There's a category of plurals where you just add an S. House becomes houses, boat become boats, car become cars. And there are ones that take something away and add a IES. And there's like a whole category in English that just like random. Like a random category of man, men, pan, pen. You don't say pan, pen, man, men. You know what I mean? Like it's like a random category. That there has no rules. Okay, there's a like mouse becomes mice, and man becomes men, and tooth becomes teeth. Okay, but it doesn't follow a pattern. Because obviously booth doesn't become beef. You know what I mean? So just there's no pattern. Fish becomes fish. No. Unless you're in Cape Town, there's fishes, obviously. Yeah. Okay. So the point I want to make in have like pattern vowels, and you have vowels that don't have a pattern. You have pattern vowels, and you have vowels that don't follow a specific pattern. Okay. So the ones that you've done in Arabic so far, are they pattern vowels or non-pattern vowels? Pattern vowels. Pattern vowels. So what was the first pattern you learned? That's not a vowel, Ain is dual. I'm not plural, I'm talking about, sorry. Okay, the first pattern, okay, Ain, that's for dual. Let's park that one side. But now we're doing plural now. In plural, what pattern did you learn? Una, ina. There's a group of nouns. To make it a noun, you add what? Una, ina. Muslimun, muslimuna, muslimina, fasiqun, fasiquna, fasiqina. That's a pattern one. We call that pattern what? Jam'un, mudhakkarun, salimun, a sound, male, plural. That's one kind of pattern of that's one pattern of a plural. Then last week you learned another pattern. What's the pattern? Atun, atin. There's another pattern where you add atun, atin. Muslimatun, muslimatun, muslimatin. Ayatun, ayatun, ayatin. You with me? So it's a pattern one. So in other words, you learned so far the una ina pattern, which is the masculine plural, muslimuna, muslimina. Then you learn the feminine plural, which is atun, atin, muslimatun, muslimatin. What is left is the last one. So in Arabic, let's take a step, pause quickly. In Arabic, there are three types of plurals. Three. What's type number one? In Arabic, jam'un, mudhakkarun, salimun. What's pattern number two? Jam'un, mu'annathun, salimun. And our pattern number three is what we call the broken plural. It's like the no pattern plural. So this is a category we're going to do today. Okay. For example, what does rajulun mean? Means a man, like an English man. So what is the plural of rajulun in Arabic? Anybody know? It's rijal. Is rijalun. Walad, what's walad mean? A boy. What's the plural of walad? Awladun. Can see between rijal and awlad there's no pattern. I didn't do a standard change to that to get to that. Yeah, I made the first letter I. There I added a. It's like there's no I can't even like see anything, any pattern. For example, the word ajrun. You can't say sawada, but ajrun. Ajr means a reward. What do you call the plural of ajr? Rewards. Ujurun. Okay, you can't say anything over there, but just imagine it. Ujurun. So can you see between rijal, awlad, and ujur? There's no pattern. Whereas the others was easy, was muslimuna, muslimina, fasiquna, fasiqina, mu'minina, mu'minuna, mu'minina. But this is the no pattern plural. We call it what? The broken plural. Why do you think we call it broken?
It's broken.
It is broken about it. Why do we call these two sound and we call this one broken? Okay, besides no pattern, what about the first two remain sound and what about the third one becomes broken? Okay, good. So in other words, the first two, can you see the structure of the word didn't change? The word Muslim, can I still see the word Muslim there? There is Muslim. Can I see the word Muslim there? Muslim. So therefore we call this, we didn't change the structure, we just added something at the end. So now the original word stayed intact. Mu'min. It stays intact. Mu'minuna, mu'minina. Look at this word here. Did the original word stay intact? See, I didn't add, I broke the original word. It was a ra, I make the ri. There wasn't a in, I moved the lam across and I put the a in. So I broke up the word. You with me? Next one, waladun. Can you see the walad? You can still see wow, lam, dal, but it's not in the same form. I put the alif there, I put another alif there, I change the harakat and so on. Therefore it's called broken plural. Sound plural is called sound plural because the word remains intact, you just add something to it. Broken is called broken because you break the word up and you change the harakat and you add letters in between, therefore it's called broken. That's it?
How do we work around this?
That's a good question. So how do you learn the pattern for no pattern plural? Okay, so there's only really actually one way. You have to learn each word individually. Like in English, you individually learn that man doesn't become man's. You learn for some reason that man became men. But no one taught you a rule, people just taught you the individual words. You with me? So in English, so normally when a child speaks, a child will add S to everything. When a child speaks. And then you start creating individual ones for the child. Then the child starts learning, oh, that individual ones, I don't add S to it. It happened to you if you have children before. They add S to everything. And then you just start creating individual stuff. Then they start making exceptions in their mind. Oh, except that one, I don't say man's, I say men. You with me? So the same with Arabic is you have to learn the individual words. So where do you get it from? I will tell you what the plural is, or I'm going to teach you how to use a dictionary as well to find the plural.
Now that was my question. Using the dictionary will tell us how.
Yes, the dictionary, we'll go through that now, inshallah. Let's go to the hal. Okay. Leave the last one for now. Rajulun means a man. What's the plural of Rajulun? Rijalun. Waladun means a boy. What's the plural? Awladun. Ajrun means a reward. What's the plural? Ujurun. Sunnah means like a way or habit. What's the plural? Sunanun. In English we have sunnahs. It's actually sunanun is the plural. Qalbun means a heart. What's the plural? Qulub. Okay. Now, next thing we have to do is we have to put the plural on the hal table. We have to put the plural on the hal table. In other words, you can get qulub in raf'un, qulub in nasbun, qulub in jarrun. You with me so far? Yes. How do you think rijalun will look in raf'un? Take a guess. That is raf'un already. Rijalun. How do you think it will look in nasbun? There is a creative guess there. Rijalan. And in jarrun? Rijalin. How about awladun? Awladun is raf'un. How does it come in nasbun? Awladan. And jarrun? Awladin. How about ujur in raf'un? Ujurun. Ujuran. Ujurin. Sunanun? Sunanun. Sunanan. Sunanin. Qulubun. Quluban. Qulubin. Rusulun. Rusulun. Rusulan. Rusulin. So it's the same as what? The way you make a raf nasb and jar is the same as what? Mufrad. Same like mufrad, like rajulan, rajulin. Same thing, rijalun, rijalan, rijalin. Okay. Just explain to your partner and just say they're okay there. Just look into the eyes, I'll say they're okay there. You can ask them, give them a test there. The plural of kitab is kutub. The plural of kitab is kutub. Just make sure you can put it on the hal table. The plural of kitab is kutub. If you have a question, you can raise your hand, inshallah. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand, inshallah. Yeah, pass the blow over this thing.
That's fine.
Okay, okay. Any questions? Sisters, you okay? No. Okay, we come there, inshallah. Okay. So, let's pause for a second so make sure you're on the same page. In Arabic, you have three types of plurals. One plural ends, you can see it, because you can see una, ina, oh, it's a plural. The second plural, I can say atun, atin, oh, it's a plural. The third one is very difficult, because if you don't know the word, you don't even know if it's a plural. You with me? Like, for example, I give you the word al-sinatun. Al-sinatun. Do you know whether it's a plural or a single? You don't know. So you have to know the word. You have to know the word. So in other words, in this one here, you're going to have to know the word. The dual stays the same. For example, al-sina is the plural of lisan. Lisan means the tongue. So two tongues in Arabic is what? Lisan, what's two tongues? You still add any same thing? Okay, let's take a step back quickly. Rajulun means a man. How do you say two men in Arabic? Rajulani or Rajulaini. How about waladun? Altogether, waladani, waladaini, ajrun, ajrani, ajraini, sunnatun, sunnatani, sunnataini, qalbun, qalbani, qalbaini, rasulun. So nothing changes with regard to dual. Dual is always any, doesn't matter what type of plural it is. So single is fine, right? Dual is fine. And the other two plurals are fine. Oh, this one is like not fine. But this one it can't be fine because there's no pattern to it. It's like English. You can't give someone a pattern, it's going to be frustrating for them. They're going to ask you, why is mouse, mice? I don't understand. Because everything else at is. You understand? It doesn't make sense. That's how it is. No. Okay. So let's just leave this table here. Let's just go to a broken plural table. Rajulun. One man. Okay, so the table. Rajulun, Bismillah. Rajulun, Rajulan, Rajulin, then do. What's the plural? Remember Rijalun, Rijalun, Lan, Rijalin. Is it okay? Do the same one for qalbun quickly. In your mind. What's it qalbun? Bismillah. Qalbun, qalban, qalbin, qalbani, qalbani, qalbaini. And then qulub, qulubun, quluban, qulubin. Let's do the same one for Rasul. The plural of Rasul is Rusul. Rasul, Bismillah. Rasulun, Rasulan, Rasulin. Rasulani, Rasulaini, Rasulaini. Rusul, Rusulun, Rusulan, Rusulin. Take a deep breath. Base camp, you know base camp, no? Before you go up Everest, you must acclimatize that base camp. No. The gender, oh, that's a loaded question. That I'll answer in a few months' time, inshallah. Sure. How many thousand do you want? Now, let's say most plurals in Arabic are broken. So you have to say, how many thousand do you want? Most are broken. Okay. But we'll learn the Quranic ones, inshallah. The Quranic ones we'll learn. Why is this base camp? This is base camp now because you are finished with the study of the individual word. Because remember, all the time now you've only been studying one word the whole time. So inshallah, the next step is you start doing sentences. Okay, so this is, but you're going to have to know all of this to do sentences. You must know the number, you must know the gender, you must know the hal to do sentences, inshallah. Okay. So what's base camp? Base camp is basically gender. Okay, now I'm going to show you 39. Okay, let me first see what homework I'm going to give you. Okay, maybe I can quickly show you. Do you have dictionaries? Okay, we're going to need a dictionary for this exercise. Okay. So I got the dictionary, right? I want to look up a word. I don't know what the plural of that word is. I don't know what the plural of the word is. For example, the word ear in Arabic, ear. The word ear in Arabic is udhunun. But now I want to know what the plural of, how do you say ears in Arabic? How do you say? Ears. So first of all, I need to find the word in the dictionary. How do you find the word in the dictionary? Timoza, can I do it with you? Root letters and extra letters and all that stuff? Okay, but this easy one, udhunun. Where will I look? Alif, dal, nun. Udhunun. So where will I look? And the alif, dal, nun. So you can look for it, inshallah. Oh, it's not Arabic keyboard here. I don't know how to use this English one. Okay, yes, fine. Okay, so find alif, dal, nun. Okay, did you find it? Just share the page number you found it. If you have a hard copy dictionary, what's the page number?
13
On the app, it's on page 13. In the actual dictionary, in the hard copy dictionary, it's going to be something else. Also 13. Okay. Oh, it's not on the screen. What's happening here? I thought I'm looking at the screen here. Okay, so I'll work on the screen so it'll be easier for everybody to see. Except for me to see. Where's Udhunun now? Okay, so here you can see here, the first block of text is always the verb. The first block of text is always the verb, so I ignore that. Then I look for udhunun. Can see alif, dal, noon. Can see it's idhn. So it's not the right word I'm looking for, because idhn means permission. I'm looking for udhun. So I keep looking. So I keep looking here. Idhni, I'm looking at here. Udhun, can see there? There's a alif, then there is udhun. Udhun. So this here tells me, what this tells me here? This tells me how the word is spelled. This tells me how you put the harakat on udhun or udhunun. Then what I look for is, to find the plural, I look for the word PL. The letters PL. Can you see PL there? Can you see PL? Because PL stands for plural. PL stands for plural. And then next to plural, if it's a broken plural, listen carefully. If it's a broken plural, they will write out the word without harakat, and then they will put the word in English letters to give you an idea of the harakat. So how do you think you say this word? It's than. Not the adhan. This is not adhan, it's adhan. Adhan. The plural of udhun is adhan. You can see here's the meaning of it. Here's the meaning is ear. The plural is adhan. Good stuff. Let's take another word. Look at the word Muslimun. Under what will Muslimun be? Muslim will be under what? Sin, Lam, Mim. So Sin, Lam, Mim. Okay, follow on the screen you want to, inshallah, to shortcut the process. So we get Salima, that's the first block of text, going to be the verb. I carry on, I'm looking for Muslim. There's still lots of text here. I'm looking for Muslim. Sometimes you have to look long. Where is Muslim? Yeah, can you see yes Muslim here? That's on page of the app, it's 497. But just look at the screen quickly, because the main thing is just to show you the lesson here on the screen. Muslim. Can you see the word Muslim there? Mim, Sin, Lim, Mim, Sin, Lam, Mim, and next to it is Muslim. What's next to PL? Un. So what are they telling me? They're telling me, if it's UN, they're telling me un. If it's un, that the dictionary is telling me that this plural, it's a sound masculine plural. You with me? In other words, so what is the plural of Muslim? Muslimuna or Muslimina. One more. If you're confused, it's okay. Don't worry. you're confused, it's okay, no problem. Part of the process, inshallah. Let's look up the word. Look at the word ayah. Look at ayah. I can't type ayah on here. Look up the word. Look at ayah, inshallah. I don't know if I can find it here. Okay. Look at the screen, inshallah. I'll do it here. Let me just find it first. Okay, can you see, look at the screen actually? Yeah, I found ayah on the screen. Check the screen. What's next to PL? There's an AT there. Which means what? At. Which means what type of plural? A sound, feminine, plural. So in other words, the plural will be ayatu or ayati. Let me summarize, because we're out of time for this. Tomorrow, inshallah, next week, inshallah, next week, when you come back, we'll revise. I don't want to get too stressed with dictionary work. I mean, you can do a bit of dictionary work, but dictionary work is like very tedious. So like breaks you. More time, so I'm going to give you more time with dictionary, inshallah, maybe in the next lesson. But what I want to say, in terms of the principle of using the dictionary, and I do want you to try this week. If you look up any word, number one, you must look it up according to the root letters. Number one, you must look it up according to the root letters. Therefore, in the exercise I give you here, I give you the root letters. Okay, so number one, you don't have to break your head. I'll give you the root letters. So look at 1 point, and look at number 1.17 on page 18. We give you the root letters. So now here's the key, and if you get this, it will be very simple. Next to the PL, there will be one of three things. Listen carefully. You look in the root letters, you look for the word. So number two is when you get to the entry, you must find the exact entry. The first block of text is a verb, then there's a lot of nouns after that. You must find the right noun. You with me? You can't look for musallam if it's Muslim. It must be the exact one, right? But anyway, that's a bit of a search, but you'll find it eventually. When you find it, to get the plural, there will be PL next to it. PL. PL means plural. You are going to get one of three things next to plural. You're either going to get a UN there, una. If you see a UN there, all it means is that you can convert this word into a sound, masculine, plural. Make sense? If you see UN there, it means, okay, that belongs in the first category, sound, masculine, plural. It's a una, ina one. All good so far? Number two, if you see AT there, it means it belongs in the second category, atun, atin. It's a sound, feminine, plural. And if it's broken, then they will write out the word. And they will give you the voweling. They will write out, for example, if I look up the word, for example, qalb, Q-L-B, if I look up the word qalb, if I look up the word qalb, can see, where are we now? Here we go. Because it's different. You say yes, qalb, which means heart. Yes, qalb, which means heart. If it's a broken plural, they will always write it out. They will write, because there's no pattern, so they must give you the pattern. They must give you the plural. So they will write out there, qaf, lam, waw, ba, and next to it they will tell you in English letters how to say it. Qulub. Qulub. And just a tip, a vowel with a line on top is a long sound. Can you see? Qu, but there's a vowel on there's a line on the second U. It's a long sound. Qulub. Okay. With me? And just to add extra, sometimes they have a lot of plurals for one word. Sometimes you have a lot of plurals, you have like 2 or 3 broken plurals. Or you have a sound plural and a broken plural. So then you're like, what's going on? Nothing's going on. Just different options. Different options. Okay. So homework, inshallah. Homework. I'm going to give you all of it. I want you to try number 1 to 12 of page 18. No, actually, I'm going to give you the whole one, man. I don't think it's a long holiday also and everything. Yeah, so definitely no. I retract that statement. 1.17, 1.18. 1.17, what you have to do is you have to write out the meaning of the word. You find the meaning in the dictionary and you write out the broken plural. If you struggle, it's okay. You don't have to drop out. You can still come back next year, next term, inshallah. We'll help you out. But it is a bit tough. Following thing is 1.18. 1.18, you must look up all the words and give me the gend and the meaning. The gend and the meaning. To make it easier for you, I'll tell you what the plurals are, the broken plurals are on 1.18. So 1.18, I'll tell you what the broken plurals are, so it doesn't so difficult to find. The broken plural, the first one, rusul, is broken plural. Just make a tick there or something so you know it's broken plural. Or B or something, you know it's broken plural. The word number 3, al-ashab, is broken. So put the B there. All the rest are not broken. So only 2 are broken there. Because broken plurals are hard to find in the dictionary. Because you must know where to look and all that stuff. The rest should be fairly easy. So do you understand the homework? 1.18, look up the word, look up the meaning, look up the broken plural. Sorry, 1.17. 1.18, look up the word, look up the meaning, and give me the gend of this word in the column here. For example, let's say rusulin quickly. Rusulin, the meaning means messengers. Messengers. In terms of gend, what's the gender going to be? Let's make it male for now. If you're confused, it's fine, but let's make it male, because it comes from the word rasul. Male. What's the end casing? What's the hal? Rusulin. Jar. Good. So it's going to be jar. What's the number? I'll give you a clue. It's a broken plural. What's the number? Plural. It's going to be plural. What type of plural? Broken plural. What's the definiteness? Mariya for nakira? Nakira. Okay. If you finish these 2, then you, especially the last one here, then you finish with the base camp. If you turn the page, you see other stuff happening. Other stuff, new stuff, sentences happening. That's next lesson, inshallah. I'll recap this again next time, but just no. Okay. Before I do the nasiha, just some announcements. There are going to be 2 weeks of no class. The number 1 reason for dropouts in this course is holidays. I don't know what shaitan come in holidays there and he tells you, no man, the Sundays are too good. You can't go back to class. So the number 1 reason for dropouts is going to be holidays. I warn you about it, but you will fight your own nafs about that, inshallah. Why is no class for 2 weeks? Next week, inshallah, we have 2 events next week. We have, for the males, we have the Mizan Ukhuwa Brotherhood Camp. If you haven't registered and you are coming, I urge you to register today. But for those of you who haven't been, it's for many people it's a life-changing experience. So what's the camp like? We are camping in Viliersdorp, just over that dam. We're meeting there about 6:30 on Friday afternoon. But you can come at every time you're able to come on Friday. 6:30 on Friday evening. Then the program starts after Maghrib on Friday. And then Saturday we carry on the program. And then Sunday at 11:30 in the morning we finish, so you can come home and lunch will be waiting for you, maybe. We can go to Wembley on the way home, it's up to you. And what's the program about? The program it is about, it's only males are there, and it's workshops, nasiha, team building, hikes, obstacle course. It's like a nice variety of activities, but also it's for people to get to know each other and just to bond in a different environment. So that's going to be the camp, but I urge you, if you're able to make it, to make it, inshallah. So that's going to be on Sunday. So sign up today, please, if you haven't signed up yet. For sisters, we have the Soul Sisters event on this Sunday. So for you, it's like normal class time. Normal class time at Mount View Masjid, but it's a public event. So you can bring your family with. It's a public event, and it's a bit like a mini unveiling type of event. If you've been to unveiling before, it's like that. Malima Radia will be there, and Malima Khairiyah will be there. So we have some talks and some adhkar at the event, but it's an all-female event, so there's a very different vibe. So I do, when I say a different vibe, I mean it's like it's very spiritual. The women are very spiritual when they're together. They cry from the event start until the end. They're in tears. I don't know how they do it, I'm still trying to learn, but anyway, from the beginning to the end, mashallah, your hearts are soft. But it's a very moving event normally for the females, so try to be there. Also bring people that you know along. You can tell them you have comps, because the event is free. Just tell them you have comps and you can come on Sunday, Mount View. What time was it? 9 o'clock? Oh, past 8, I can't remember. Just check the message, inshallah. But normal class time, 8:30 till 12 probably. It will be there on Sunday. If you want to be an usher as well, we're looking for ushers. You can just email or WhatsApp the admin. If you want to be an usher at the event, you can help to just email and WhatsApp the admin, inshallah. Okay. So, and in the following week, we're giving you 1 week off for the holidays. Because the following week is when school holidays are. We're giving you 1 Sunday off, but the last Sunday of school holidays will be class. Because I can't give you another week off in like huge amount of time. So next week you're off because of camp, and the following week you get 1 week off because of the school holidays, and you'll be back the last Sunday you'll be back, inshallah. Okay. It's a good time to catch up. How do you catch up? You look into your book from page 1 to 18. If you see a blank spot, you fill it in. 1 to 19. That's how you catch up with your work. Okay. If you can do this thing, then you're fine. And if you're struggling somewhere, at least you know where you're struggling, you can get help on that thing. But don't just say, I feel lost. Like that's like where do you feel lost? Like what don't you get? So work through the workbook, inshallah. Brothers, I'm looking at you especially. All the blank spots, you fill in, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, we'll end some nasiha, inshallah. I'm just trying to find my mouse. Yeah. Okay. I want to continue. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi man wala. I find this section to be very important, this section about actually knowing who you are and what you are and where it comes from and what are your tendencies, because to understand yourself is one of the steps of progress. So we discussed in the previous lesson, we spoke about qalb for a while and ruh, and we are busy nafs. Nafs actually, what's the plural of nafs? Nufus is one and anfus is another one. So there's different broker, and I think it actually might be third one also, but there's more than one plural. nufus or anfus. In the last lesson, the last nasiha, I spoke about how even in the dictionary, it was amazing for me, like even in the dictionary the word nafs has two opposite meanings. Okay, I'm just thinking about how mind-blowing that is. That the word nafs in the dictionary actually means things. In the first one, it was nafusa, that means precious, priceless, but nafisa means niggardly, stingy, doesn't want to share, wants to hoard everything. It's the same root letters, but two different meanings. We spoke about the verb nafasa, which means to want to help someone, cheer them up, give them ease, and nafasa, which means you want to compete with someone, you want to beat someone, you want to outdo someone. So this is the nature of the nafs. Today I want to speak about this ayah where Allah speaks about the nafs, or this ayah. Amazing about this ayat is if you count the number of wah, where Allah says washamsi wa duhaha. What does wah mean in Arabic? So if I say wallahi, what do I mean? And Allah. So wah can mean and, yes, and the wah can also mean what? By. And a wah can mean two other things, but that's later on. So wah can mean and a wah can also mean by. So here Allah is taking an oath. So we take an oath, we normally say wallahi. Allah can take an oath on anything. So Allah says here washamsi. So washamsi doesn't mean and the sun, it means by the sun. Washamsi wa duhaha. And its morning brightness, its morning light. Now is duha time. Wal qamari, and by the qamar, by the moon. إذا تلاها, when the moon follows the sun. Wan nahari, and by the nahar is the day. إذا جلاها, when it makes the sun manifest. Wal layli إذا يغشاها, and by the night when it covers up the sun. وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا, and by the skies and the one who built it. وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا, and by the earth and the one that leveled it. وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا, and by the soul and the one that formed it. Everything in blue is actually an oath. So now if you think, there's one oath there. If you think of وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى, there's two oaths there. How many oaths are here? Let's count. How many do you count? 7. Sure, we're not the numbers here. Okay, if you look at all the of the verses, how many did you get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So definitely there are at least 7 oaths here. 7 oaths. Then you find in the verse there's another wah. وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا. There's 4 mahs in the verse. There's difference of opinion between the ulama. Some of them say that the wah in the middle is a waw of and, conjunction, and some of them say that wah in the middle is a waw of an oath. So if we add those 4 to be what? 11 oaths. So there's either 7 or there's 11 oaths in this surah. Nowhere else in the Quran do you get so many oaths. But why do you normally take an oath? You want to emphasize something. So someone thinks you're lying, what do you say? Wallahi, I'm telling the truth. You take an oath because you want to emphasize something. So Allah is taking how many oaths here? From 7 up until possibly 11 oaths. Allah is taking an oath on something He wants to emphasize. And what does He want to emphasize? وَالنَّفْسِ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا, and the nafs, and by the one that has formed it. Sawa actually means to make something balanced and even, and to shape something. فَأَلْهَمَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, And then alhamaha, He inspired it with its fujur. He allowed it to have fujur. What's fujur? You never know. Fujur actually means an abundance of sin. Now what's other, what taqwaha means what? An abundance of cautiousness and consciousness of Allah. Are those the same or different? Opposites. Allah says about the nafs, فَأَلْهَمَهَا, He gave this nafs the capacity to have fujur, and fujur means like to gush forth. Therefore fajr in the morning is the gushing forth of what? The gushing forth of light. Fajr is when the light breaks the night and it gushes forth. Therefore in fajr is when a river flows into a spring and springs out. And therefore fujur is when a nafs becomes so sinful that it explodes with sin. Like sin nature. Wrongdoing becomes its nature. This is the nafs. Wa taqwaha, or we can have taqwa. So what is Allah telling you about the nafs itself? There's two sides. That the nafs has, and Allah takes almost 7 to 11 oaths to tell you that the nafs has two sides. Then Allah says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Indeed, qad, certainly, aflaha, has been successful, has already succeeded. Man zakkaha, the one that has purified and cleansed this nafs. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا, and has become lost, the one that has polluted this nafs, has spoiled this nafs. So it's an amazing amount of times Allah is emphasizing this. But now I have another question for you. Is what does the oaths have to do with the nafs? Look at the oaths. Okay, you don't know Arabic, but I mean you remember now. Washamsi, by the sun. Wal-qamari, by the moon. Wan-nahar, by the daylight. Wal-layl, by the night. Was-sama'i, by the heavens. Wal-ardi, by the earth. What does that have to do with the nafs? It's also opposites. Are the opposites in conflict or in harmony? Are they in conflict or in harmony?
Balanced.
They're in balance. The sun and the moon are in balance. They're not like conflict, causing chaos in the earth and stuff. They're in balance. Night and day is in balance. Time for work, time for rest. Heavens and earth are in balance. There's almost like a hidden message within that. In that the success to your soul is that you have a dual nature. What do I mean your soul is a dual nature? Your soul has a need to cling to this earth. It's in your nafs. Your nafs has a need to eat. Anybody's nafs doesn't need to eat here? Your nafs has a need to eat. There's a need to procreate. There's a need to accumulate. There's a need to protect itself. There's a need to build. It has these needs. So that's not the problem. The problem is that has to be done in what? In harmony, in balance. Just as there's day and there's night. There's time for your nafs and there's time for restriction of your nafs. Why is this important? This is important because I really believe that the number one spiritual ill of our time is that people have lost control of their nafs. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ, that's a verb. Allah is saying, has succeeded the one who has purified the nafs. Purification is work. Purification is refinement of the soul. Purification is the elevation of the soul. Purification is working on yourself. Which means what? If you take away the purification, there's almost like a downward descent. There's a downward descent. And how many people are really working on their souls? How many people are really purifying their nafs? There was a time when in Islam this was something that you'd find a teacher. You have a teacher for Arabic, a teacher for recitation. You find a teacher for your nafs also. Your shaykh who's going to guide you. You find a teacher for your nafs. Because without a guide for your nafs, what's going to happen? You just go this way and that way and this way and that way. You find it can be, sometimes could be even a parent or a grandfather or an uncle or a good friend. Sometimes it doesn't have to be like a formal shaykh that you attach to. It can be anybody who takes you and makes tarbiyah of you. And one of the problems of our age is that we don't have people who make tarbiyah of other people. We have people who give lessons. MashaAllah, we're doing lessons. Raf'un, nasbun, jarrun. But there's another level. Someone has to make tarbiyah of your soul. Tarbiyah of your nafs and say that this year you have to curb this. This year you have to do more of this. I'll end and I'll tell you that there's only two ways to train your nafs. There's two things you have to do to train your nafs. If you do these two things, your nafs will be in check. Number one. Because before I tell you two things, let me first tell you that your nature of your nafs. When I say nafs, you understand what I mean, nafs? I mean it wants to always have what it wants. It's a bit like a baby, a child. A child is almost pure nafs. To the baby. I remember my child that when we used to feed the child, there was sometimes so hungry that they can't wait for the next spoon. Can you imagine such nafs? Like you feel the spoon's in their mouth, just that putting it there, they start crying because you can't it's pure nafs. Pure nafs. That's nafs. So two things you have to do to purify your nafs. Number one is that you have to, what they call in Arabic, mujahadatun nafs. Mujahadatun nafs, mujahada from jihad. You have to burden your nafs. You have to make your nafs do what it doesn't want to do. Number one. If you want to train your nafs, you have to make your nafs do what it doesn't want to do until it loves to do it. Being pious doesn't come naturally. Being close to Allah doesn't come. In our society now, we diamaka, totally diamaka. So you have to make your nafs pray. Make your nafs recite. Make your nafs remember Allah. Make your nafs take from your wallet and give to people. Your nafs doesn't want to give your money away. Make your nafs give it away. So the one thing you must do is you must make your nafs do what it doesn't do. Homework. Number two. And I don't mean like all the time, but sometimes. This is part of the tarbiyah people used to give people. Is do this. People say, listen here, sit down and say 1,000 la ilaha illallahs every day. Why? Because they're making the nafs do what it doesn't want to do, so nafs becomes loving dhikr after a while. Initially it becomes in rebellion. I don't want to sit, I'm wasting my time, I'm late, I'm all those things. But eventually the nafs becomes attached to it as it becomes more purified. And number two is that you have to make in Arabic what they call it mukhalafatun nafs. Mukhalafa from khilaf, you have to contradict your nafs. You have to deprive your nafs of what it wants. Within moderation, you have to deprive your nafs of what it wants as time. Nafs, you can't have 3 plates of food, you can have 1 plate. Nafs, you already have 15 pairs of shoes, leave number 16 for now. It's mukhalafa of your nafs. If you do those two things, then you get, that's called tazkiyatun nafs. Those two things alone is tazkiyatun nafs. Depriving your nafs of what it wants and burdening your nafs to what it doesn't want to do until your nafs becomes shaped as it should be shaped. And I want you to think, and I'm actually over time, but I'll think about, Mawlana Aziz spoke about preparing for Ramadan. What Ramadan is the whole day you make mukhalafa. Ramadan, the whole day from dawn until sunset, you make mukhalafa. You deprive. At night Allah says what? Make mujahada. You had the wrong day, I don't care, go to masjid. You with me? Go pray extra now. Push your nafs now. Can you see how those two things work? And what is the result? How do you feel? Initially it's difficult. How do you feel? At the end of Ramadan comes i'tikaf. Make more mukhalafa. Leave your home, leave your family. Cut yourself off more. Make more mujahada. Be more in dhikr, more in Quran, more in salah. Under the last 10 days. Can you see how the process is working? Mukhalafa mujahada, and this is the route, inshallah. Barakallah. So what we have to do is we have to be aware. We have to be self-aware. Sometimes even nafs is on your tongue. You're in a conversation and you can't resist to say something because only you know that thing. Because someone told you and they didn't tell anybody else. You know that burning thing, you like want to say it because I know it. You know what I'm talking about, no? You guys are too pious for that, no? You're talking about the subject matter, about the person, then only you have that news. And you can't wait to say it. Nafs. So nafs is not only just fasting and Quran, nafs is your tongue also. Nafs is your eyes as well. It's all part of it. It's all part of it. So inshallah next week we'll speak a bit more about what this mujahada is like and what we should do going forward, inshallah. Not next week, whenever 3 weeks time, inshallah. But it's something to reflect about. And also, re-end up with this, is the tarbiyah of your children. A big part of it is tarbiyah of the nafs. And to deprive a child of something is good. To give a child everything they want, you are ruining the nafs. Really, to give a child everything they want, you are ruining the nafs. You are actually feeding the nafs more. So now you can't have that now. You have to wait for that. You have to work for that. You start training the nafs. This is part of the tarbiyah. Sometimes what happens is that, there's another discussion, but we can't go into now, that we think we're doing good to our children by spoiling them and giving them everything. We're actually ruining them. They're ruining the nafs. Your deprivation when you were young was good for you sometimes. Your struggle when you were young was good for you. It made you appreciate something. It made you moderate how you spend. It made you be thankful for the gifts you have. Now you give it to your child at nothing, just here, take it. No value, no appreciation, no moderation. So don't lose sight of how important tazkiyah to nafs is. It's a central part of our deen. It's a central part of our deen. Okay, I'll stop there because there's a lot to say, but we will carry on next lesson, inshaAllah ta'ala. Brother, I'll just see you at the camp, inshaAllah. If you can't come 2 nights, come 1 night. But the camp is a lot also about sorting out some of these nafs issues and just being in a good environment also. Being in a good environment also changes the nafs. May Allah bless and protect. Barakallah, may Allah keep you safe over the holidays. May Allah accept us all. Barakallah. It's in Surah Al-Asr. A'udhu billahi min shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal asr. Inna l-insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ Now, all right. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم أخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمنا بنور الفهم وافتح علينا بمعرفة العلم وسهل أخلاقنا بالحلم واجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه. اللهم اجعل أعمالنا خالصة لوجهك ولا تجعل فيها حظا لغيرك. وصل اللهم على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How's everyone today? Alhamdulillah. New setting? Okay, just for this week. Inshallah. We continue with Sarf bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So what we'll do is, I think, just for ease of like the whole between two places thing, I think you're going to be with me for the rest of the day, inshallah. What we're going to do is, we'll do some Sarf, see how long that takes us. It's mostly continuing with the dictionary work and looking at some revision of all the prior concepts that we've learned, and then inshallah we'll have a segment in which we do some tafsir or tarjuma, translation and tafsir, etc., as you've been doing in the last period, and that will be with Surah Al-Kawthar bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. That's the stuff I enjoy doing. Okay, more than any of the other stuff. But anyways, start with Sarf. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Just tell me quickly, what have we done this far? We learned two distinct scales, right? One was that of a past tense verb, one was that of the present tense verb. So we said there's a certain uniform set of changes that occur in a verb to change the tense of the verb. But over and above that, the whole of Sarf is about learning these uniform changes in form that cause a change in meaning, right? So we looked at how to change who was doing the action on the past tense verb. Then we learned how to change the action on a past tense verb, right? The one was changing who did the action was by changing the endings of the verbs. Changing the action was in changing the root letters of the verb. Then we did the exact same thing for the present tense, exact same thing. We learned how to change who was doing the action by learning the actual scale, and then we learned how to change the action being done by changing the root letters. In both of the scales, we said that the haraka or the vowel on the second root letter could change. It could either be a fatha, kasra, I, or dhamma, u. But you can't just make that up. You have to go find that out in the dictionary for now. And we saw that how a slight change in whether it's a or I or u could drastically change the meaning of the actual verb. So last week we looked at how to actually use the dictionary, and we did some examples. We'll continue with that and look at some aspects of dictionary usage, inshallah, and a recap, and then we'll move on from there. Bi-idhnillah ta'ala. Right, so as we always do, Bismillah, go for it. Fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alna, fa'alta, fa'altum, fa'alti, fa'altunna, fa'altu, fa'alna. Okay, present tense scale. Go for it. Yaf'alu, yaf'aluna, taf'alu, yaf'alna, taf'alu, taf'aluna, taf'alina, taf'alna, af'alu, naf'alu. Okay, let's do the past tense and present tense of Fataha. Let's let the ladies do this one. Bismillah. Fataha, ladies. فتحت فتحنا. Right. In the present tense? يفتح يفتحون. I think the volume went a little bit more lower with the present tense. So, okay, guys, let's see if we can do any better. ضرب. And the present tense? Somewhere, yeah, good. Alhamdulillah. Nasara, everybody, let's do a present tense and past tense of Nasara. Nasara, Nasarna, Nasarta, Nasartum, Nasarti, Nasartunna, Nasartu, Nasarna. Present tense? Yansuru, Yansuruna, Tansuru, Yansurna, Tansuru, Tansuruna, Tansurina, Tansurna, Ansuru, Nansuru. سمع سمعنا سمعت سمعتم سمعتي سمعتن سمعت سمعنا. Present tense يسمع يسمع يسمعون تسمع يسمعنا تسمع تسمعون تسمعين تسمعنا أسمع نسمع. Yeah, if you think I'm torturing you, imagine I did this for like 8 years. Yeah. It's torturous. Let's go again. حسبة حسبت حسبتم حسبتي حسبتن حسبت حسبنا. Present tense يحسب نحسب. Alright, this way. And then the last one كرمة كرمة كرموا كرمت كرمنا كرمت كرمتم كرمتي كرمتن كرمت كرمنا. Present tense يكرم يكرمون تكرم يكرمن تكرم تكرمون تكرمين تكرمن أكرم نكرم. Right. So inshallah that's going to stick in your brains. Right, okay. Then last week, just quick recap. What we said is we learnt in all of those verb forms that we did. فعل, ضرب, فتح, سمع, نصر, كرم. And that last one there is, I think, حسب. Right? We learnt in those verbs every possible combination of past tense and present tense middle letter haraka combination. Right? So with this middle of the past tense and a in the middle of the present tense. Fataha yaftahu. And then where there's a fatha in the middle of the past tense, but a kasra in the middle of the present tense. Daraba yadribu. And then where there's a fatha in the past tense, but a dhamma in the present tense. Nasara yansuru. Or when we have a kasra in the past tense, but a fatha in the present tense. Sami'a yasma'u. And then kasr in the past tense, kasr in the present tense. Hasiba yahsibu. And lastly, a dhamma in the past tense. We always have a dhamma in the present tense. So we had the karuma yakrumu. And those are essentially all of the possible combinations that we can have. Right? You'll never have a dhamma in the past tense with a fatha or kasra in the present tense. It will always be a dhamma in the present tense. Or you'll never have a kasra in the past tense with a dhamma in the present tense. If it's a kasra in the past tense, we'll either have a fatha or a kasra. But the fatha will have any other combination. The question was, how do we find that? We have to, and we use the example of ba'uda. What is it? What is this guy now again? Ba'uda yab. Well, I just told you if there's a dhamma in the past tense, it has to have a dhamma in the present tense. So ba'uda yab udu. Right, and the same for the present tense. We had sabara, and the present tense was yes, biru, and ba'uda was yab'udu. Remind me, how do we use the dictionary? First thing is we know that it's based on the root letters, right? And the root letters are arranged according to
alphabetical order. What was that alphabetical order? Hamza. Remember, not alif, right? What's a alif? What is a alif? It's when you only that letter that you're using as a pulling sound. But when it's actually a what you call it? Hamza. There's different types of Hamzas also, but we leave that for another time. For now, Hamza, right? It's a Hamza, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, dal, dal, ra, za, sin, shin, sad, dal, ta, da, ain, ghin, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, noon, and then it's ha, wow, ya. At the end. So, and that's something you must get into your brains, right? The next thing is also, how we use a dictionary? We first identify the root letters. We find those root letters in the dictionary. The first word with that set of root letters will be your fi'al, right? And then next to it, we find the transliteration, the word spelt out in Roman letters. That tells me how to say the past tense. Next to it, I see a I or U or A. That tells me how to say it just tells me the middle haraka on the present tense. Right, and that's basically how we use the dictionary. So these are the examples we did last time. I'm just skipping through that. But I want you to do some examples for me to get it clear. So just in your groups, using your dictionaries to check if we can find all of these things. What I want you to do is find the past and present tenses of these words. Fa, ra, ha, jim, ain, lam, sin, ra, ain, and qaf, ba, lam. So quickly, check it for me. What are you going to do? I want you to find out how do you say the past tense, how do you say the present tense, and if you want, you can just give me one meaning. Quickly. Yeah, if you're in a group, each one can just take one word and then you find them for me. Question? Excuse me? After the transliteration, it will have an I, or just look over here, I'm going to show you the example. So there we have khalaqa, right? It has the past tense spelled out, and next to it, I have an I, or U, or A. That tells me the haraka on the middle root letter of the present tense. So that one will be U. So it's going to be khalaqa yakhluqu. Because there's a U there. For example, if you look at this one, ba'uda, it also has a U there, so I know it's going to be yab'udu. What other example? I have sabara, there's an I over here, so I know it's going to be yasbiru. Perfect. And if it's an A, then it will mean that is a fatha there. Because The only part of the scale that's variable is that haraka on the middle letter. Right, so if I just go a bit back here quickly, we concluded that this is how our scale looks, everything that's fixed. The only thing that's variable is the haraka there. Everything else must stay the same. Right? Good. Okay. Let me just see something. Can I just turn this thing a little bit? All right, let's check the words that we had now. The first one was fa, ra, ha. Right, those were the letters. So you should have found this in your dictionary. So what's it? Fariha. And present tense? Yaf. This is something that I saw now people ask. Fariha yafra hu. Fariha yafra hu. How do I know that the end must have a u? Because it's part of the scale. The only thing that changes, or the only thing that we're looking for in the dictionary is the haraka on the middle root letter. Right? On the middle root letter. means to be happy, right? Okay, what is the next one? Ja'ala. Oh, why did I say it now? What's it? It was Ja'ala. Present tense was? Yaj'alu. Ja'ala yaj'alu. It means to make or put or place. Tell me, what is that word? Just remind me quickly. That word in the brackets. Just after the A, you have that word in the brackets. What's that? How would you say it firstly? Ja'alun. Ja'alun. Is it the ism fi'al or harf? It's an ism, right? But what's the significance? Why is that word there in brackets? This one over here. Let me just. This thing there in brackets next to the A. What did I say? What was that word? I said it's called what we call the masdar. Masdar means like the root, the place of origin, or the place of emission. Its purpose. It is the noun from which this verb gets its meaning. It's the noun from which this verb gets its meaning. And how you translate it is like you just put ing at the end of it. So what do you think this word ja'alun will mean? Making. Or it's in English it's oftentimes referred to either as the infinitive or it's referred to as the gerund. Gerund. Simple understanding, it's the root word. Remember we spoke about the root letters? The letters from which the word gets its meaning? Now this is the word from which the verb gets its meaning. Right? Okay. So we had fariha yafrahu, we had ja'ala yaj'alu. What is the next one? Saru'a and? What did I mess the thing up now? Saru'a. And the present tense? Saru'a. And yes? Ru'u. Saru'a. Yes, ru'u. And you can see this one has a number of root words. Sira'un, sara'un, sur'atun. What does saru'a yasru'u mean? To be? To be quick, to be fast. Okay. And the last one. What's the last one? What's this one? What's it? Qabila yaqbalu. Right. Qabila yaqbalu. And the root word is either qabulun or qubulun. What does it mean to? To accept something or to receive something. Okay. Is that the end of it? But now you remember what I told you last time. Where do you read until when you want to check the thing properly? You read until you find the next Roman numeral. Can you remember that? I said you maybe find it 2II or 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it may be. So let's carry on reading Qabila. If you have a physical dictionary, you might have to turn over to the next page. Carry on reading Qabila until you get to the, let's see where that Roman numeral, you see there's a Roman numeral 2 there. You see? There's a 2. Alright, so let's carry on reading. can mean to allow, to make possible, blah 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 blah. Command. And then we come to this here, dash. What does it say there? Qabila. That says qabila, and then there's an A next to it, so that means qabila yaqbalu. And what's the next thing here? Qabala yaqbulu. But now there's a U and a I. So that means you can say qabala yaqbulu or qabala yaqbilu. And then it will mean what? To guarantee, to vouch, to be a surety for something. Okay, and then there's not another one up until we get to the Roman numeral 2. So what are we saying there? What does that mean in terms of my understanding of the dictionary? That this word can be said a number of ways. I can either say qabila yaqbalu, and if I use it if in the form qabila yaqbalu, it will mean to accept and a host of other things. But if I say qabala yaqbilu or qabala yaqbulu, then it will mean to stand surety or to be a guarantee for something. A different meaning altogether. Right? Why I gave you this example is just so that you can see that the last point that we learned, that one set of root letters can have two or more distinct sets of meanings. Right? And you'll see what's different. The root word is different. See here. If we look there by the second qabila yaqbalu and qabala yaqbulu or qabala yaqbilu, what's the root word here? What's it? Qabalatun. So that word qabala means standing surety. So because of that root noun, this word gets its meaning to stand surety. If I go before this, to the page before this, to the other meaning of qabila, you'll see it will have a different root noun or different root word. See there, it's qabul or qubul. So it's a different root noun. And that's why it has a different meaning. Question? I think the thing is that you have a masdar, word, a noun, and the verb gets its meaning therefrom. So the verb is derived from the noun. Right? Okay. Before I close this dictionary thing, are there any questions there? Let's see what's going on here. Let's just put that there. Okay. Any questions? You kind of know how to find verbs in the dictionary. Right. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Then just for... Okay, maybe I should pull that thing back up. Just so that you know, if you want to explain. Afterwards, after the verb, you're going to find a whole host of nouns. Let's give me one word that you want to know about. Let's take shouldn't be that hard. Anything. Fariha. Somebody got some memories, ne? Let me just see something too. Falaka doesn't mean what you think it means. Let's take Fariha. Let's just go with Fariha. So if I look at that's Where did it start now? I said the first word is going to be the verb, right? And that passage, just that one passage with the first set of root letters, that is going to deal with all the different verbs that can be derived from this root letters. Right? When we looked at it, we stopped looking when we got to the first Roman numeral, right? When we got to a 2, for example, we said, okay, that's where for all our intents and purposes now, we stop. But inshallah, we're going to learn more sarf, such that we can deal with what comes after the 2. And after 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and even more for some of them, right? But for now, we stop at the 2. However, this first paragraph, or related to this first set of root letters, all of that just deals with the verb. Once I move on to the next paragraph, I'm going to be dealing with nouns. Right? So for example, the first noun after that will be the root noun. You see there? I have your farah, farahun. And the first noun that it deals with is that word farahun. Can you see that? Farahun. The first noun in the next paragraph is that word farahun. Where's my pointer now? So I have here, my root noun is farahun, and then it deals with farahun. So farah means joy, gladness, glee, hilarity, mirth. Okay, that's getting. Wedding it can refer to as well. Happiness, rejoicing, etc. And you move on. You have the word farhatun, also means joy. Farihun, merry, gay, cheerful. Yeah, gay, happy, not other gay. Farhan also means somebody that's a cheerful person. Mafarih, feasts or events of joy. Tafrih, amusement, or it will oftentimes mean to make someone else happy. Farih is a person that's cheerful. A mufrih is a person that cheers up other people. So all of those are nouns that get derived from the verb form again. Yeah, we'll look at that in another time. So just what did I want to point out to you? The first paragraph deals with what? The verb. For now, we're just focusing until we get to the first, right? But even after that Roman numeral, till the end of the paragraph, it's still dealing with different verb forms. We just haven't learnt those verb forms yet, right? Then after that paragraph, we start to just deal with a whole lot of different nouns, different types of nouns. Sometimes then it's going to be an infinitive. Sometimes it's going to be a collective noun. Sometimes it's going to be a active particle. Sometimes it's going to be a passive particle. Sometimes it's going to be just adjective. For example, you're going to find just different. I mean, in English we call them all those names. In Arabic you just call it all of those are called asma. Ism, all of those are isms. Right? Isms is a very bad word to use, but just so that all of those are asma. The first one is a fi'al, and all of the rest are asma. Right? So that's kind of how you use a dictionary. Okay, so now we move on from there, inshallah. Okay, so that is essentially, that's the first part of sarf. Done. We learned, I told you at the beginning that there's two extremely important skills. The rest of sarf is just building on those skills. So for example, I know how to say he did, and he is doing. He helped, he is helping, we helped, we are helping. We know how to say all of those things. We know how to find out for ourselves what different roots mean. We can go to our dictionary, we can find those meanings. The rest of it it's merely adapting that meaning slightly. How do I say he didn't do? How do I say, instead of saying he did, now we're just very accusatory. What if I want to say he didn't do it? Or more importantly, I didn't do it. Right? How do we learn how to do those things? So we'll cover that in due course, inshallah. But all of them are just very, very slight changes, not even changes of the verb forms. Those verb forms stay almost the same. It's just adding something before it or something like that. So if you have those first two scales down, the rest of sarf should be pretty easy. Insha'Allah. We'll cover the sarf in stages now. After this, we'll look at negating verbs. We'll look at using a verb but in a passive form without mentioning the doer. For example, in all of the verbs that we've learned thus far, the doer is always mentioned, right? I always know it's either him or her or them or they two males or they two females. Okay, we didn't do twos, but or you or I, we. It's always mentioned. But what if I just want to say this person was helped? I don't want to say who helped him. So we'll learn how to put the verb into a passive form as well. And then we'll learn how to command and prohibit as well. I know how to say he helped, but how do I say to somebody, help? Or I know how to say he hit, how do I say to somebody, don't hit? Right? So those are all ideas or concepts that we will learn in sarf as well. And they, alhamdulillah, all just small adaptations of these scales that we've learned thus far. So if you have these two scales down, that's why I always emphasize. If you want your sarf to be easy for you, and that's why we repeated those scales so many times. Because that forms the basis of sarf. If you have that, inshallah, sarf becomes a lot easier. Okay, cool. Right. So what I wanted to do now is, just because some people, we did the rote means of learning via scales, but I just wanted to put it in a conceptual form for people that like to learn conceptually more than they do through rote learning. Right? So just a recap of things quickly. We said we're dealing with sarf, and sarf is about how verbs change. We had the fi'al madi, al-fi'al al-madi, and al-fi'al al-mudari', the past tense verb and the present tense verb. So I just put together this little table between them. Right? So how do I identify, if I see a verb, how do I very quickly identify whether this verb is past tense or present tense? So first thing I must be able to do is I must be able to identify the form of the word. Right? So a quick way of doing that is that the past tense doesn't have anything attached to the beginning. The past tense doesn't have, isn't it so? Fa'ala, it starts with the root letter. The present tense, it does have something attached at the beginning, right? And once my wife was telling me you can summarize it as tiny. I don't know how on earth they got to that, but I think it's ta, hamza, noon, yeah. Should be ta'ni. But okay. Ta, hamza, noon, yeah. Because it's either it's yaf'alu, or taf'alu, or af'alu, naf'alu. The other forms is yaf'aluna, yaf'alna, taf'aluna, taf'alna. There's always a ya, ta, hamza, or noon at the beginning. Right? So if you want to, you can use the thing tiny. And it's actually nice because the verb hasn't reached completion yet also. And they still arriving, developing, still tiny. Second thing is you must know so quick way is that's just identifying without knowing much. I can just identify when one is past or present. If the one starts immediately with the root letter, past. If it starts with one of these letters, ya, ta, hamza, or noon, then it's present tense. Right. Next thing that I need to know importantly is I need to know the form. So that's what I have there. Fa, one of the harakat on it, plus la. Present tense, yaf, ayn with one of the harakat on it, plus lu. Yaf'alu, yaf'ilu, yaf'ulu. Past tense, fa'ala, fa'ila, fa'ula. One of those. The second thing that you always need to know with the verb is you need to know how to identify the doer. How do you identify the doer? You look at the end. Right? So what are the potentials that I have there? Either there's going to be a wow at the end, which is for plural, masculine plural usually. If there's a wow at the end, it's for masculine plural. Fa'alu. Okay, just leave out the alif. It is also one of the things, but that's for duals, which we're not doing. Or there's a ta. After the root letters, there's a ta. Some form of ta. Either it's going to be fa'alat, or fa'altu, or fa'alta, or fa'alti, or fa'altunna, or fa'altum. But there's a ta there after the root letters. And the last one is, it could have a na. I missed out one, actually. It should also be a short noon, na. Let me just put that there quickly. Okay, this is just starting to look worse and worse. Sorry about that, okay. And then at the end, or nu, or na, or na, or wow. The present tense either as a una, yaf'aluna, taf'aluna, or ina, taf'alina, or just a short noon, yaf'alna, or taf'alna. The last thing is how to change action. You change the 3 root letters. And then we have, note that the second root letter can change, like Nasara Yansuru and Sami'a and Yakrumu, etc. So I'm just going to go through this again. Why I actually put this table together? I put the table together so that you must know all of the concepts that you need to know in relation to a past tense verb. You need to know how to identify whether a verb is past or present tense. Quick way of doing that: if there's tiny at the beginning, it's present. If not, it's past. Then I need to know the form. Fa'ala, fa'ula, fa'ila. I need to know the form of the present tense. Yaf'alu, yaf'ulu, yaf'ilu. One of those forms. I need to be able to identify who's doing the action. Where do I look? I look at the end. Either there's a waw there in the past tense, it's masculine plural, or there's a short noon at the end, na, it's a feminine plural, or there's a ta, the ta takes on a whole lot of different forms, or there's a na, which means we. In the present tense, either there will be a una, which is masculine plural, or a na, which is feminine plural, or a ina, which is singular feminine. Right? Taf'alina, singular feminine. You can just check that in relation to your scales afterwards if you just want to clarify that. And the last thing is, you must know how to change the action being done by changing the root letters. So a summary of that is, whenever we come across a verb, for now, whenever we come across a verb in the Quran, in a context, in a reader, wherever it is, I must be able to ask you 3 questions. I should be able to ask you 3 questions and you should be able to give me the answer. The 3 questions is this verb past tense or present tense? Right? I should ask you, who is doing the action? Who is doing the action? And lastly, I should be able to ask you, what is that person doing? That's of least importance, what the actual action is. But in terms of our sarf, it's past tense or present tense, when was it done, who did it, and what did they do? So whenever we come across a verb, I'm going to ask you that. Right? When, who, what? And that's what we should have learnt in sarf up until now. How those changes look in terms of forms of verbs. Any questions? No. Okay, so what I need you to do for homework then is this. You have 2 sheets. Look at exercise number 6. Simple. What we've been doing all the time. I just need you to translate the Arabic into English. But now we're going to be engaging all of those different concepts that we learned in sarf. So there's both past tense and present tense verbs in here. There's both past tense and present tense verbs in here. There's all different types of people doing the action. You, them, all of them are included. And in addition to that, there's a whole lot of different root letters that we haven't covered in class necessarily. So how are you going to find the meanings of those verbs? You're going to use your dictionary. For example, I have here taz or taruzuqna. Taruzuqna. Okay, now maybe you know that one already because you know what rizq. Because you know what rizq is, or you might have heard the word rizq. But essentially what you're going to need to do is engage all of the things that we learned in sarf thus far, all the different types of, looking at past tense, present tense, looking at different doers, and looking at different meanings, ones that we even haven't learnt yet. Right? And I think hopefully this experience of exploring, using your dictionary will show you now, alhamdulillah, that you are able to understand some Arabic even without somebody else helping you. Okay, still a dictionary helping you, but still essentially doing it on your own, inshallah. The second one was, this was just more of the same of what we did for the past 2 weeks. So actually I want you to, if you look at, there's a column that says meaning, and then 2 columns after that. Just put an X above those columns. I want you to ignore them for now. Right? Ignore them for now. Next to meaning, these 2 columns. Not first 2. After meaning, after the word meaning, these 2 columns here next to it. Don't worry about that. So what you need to do in the other 2 columns here, there's a number in the columns here. That's telling you no. That actually tells you how many times that verb form appears in the Quran. How many times that root appears in the Quran. So okay, there's nothing for you to do there. What I need you to do is just find for me, or write down for me, the present tense forms of those verbs. Just write down the present tense form. So for example, fataha, you already know that one. Fa'ala, you already know that one. Ja'ala, we learned today, you know that one. Ba'atha is a new one that you're going to learn, inshallah. So you just fold it out for me. You might want to do this one first before you do this one, because many of the verbs that are on here are on here. Right, okay. That's it for sarf. So now we're going to move on to Surah Al-Kawthar bi-idhnillah ta'ala. You guys tell me what page it is in your book? Page number? 14. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It's just clear. Page number 31. So on page number 31 in your Quran book. I don't have one of those, but you should have it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We'll just start with reciting the surah and then we'll move from there. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. Secondly, I must ask you, did you do a tafsir of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim? You guys have been doing tafsir, right? It's like some tarjuma translation and tafsir. Okay. Okay. So at the beginning of every surah, in the Mus'haf, you have written the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There's a difference of opinion amongst the scholars. Is that Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim a verse of every surah, or is it not a verse of every surah, but still a verse of the Quran, because it comes elsewhere in the middle of one surah, in Surah Naml, when Sulaiman alayhi salam writes a letter to the Queen of Sheba, Bilqis. He says, "Innahu min Sulaiman wa innahu Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim." So Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim doesn't only come at the beginning of surah; it does come in the middle of one surah, Surah Naml. There's a difference of opinion. The Shafi'i school says Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim is a part of every surah, the beginning of every surah, and that's why, if you may have seen the different people making salah. Some people, they articulate the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim aloud, as do all Shafi'is, and others don't. They don't necessarily not say it, because it's still sunnah according to them to say it softly, but they don't necessarily articulate it aloud, because they don't believe it to be part of the surah. Right. That's just one point on that. Secondly, what does it mean? You've done a number of surah already, right? with Mawlana Muhammad and Mawlana Yazid and whoever was coming at the beginning, right? So if you imagine the first verse you do tafsir of is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What does it mean? Come, we've been saying it all our lives, minimum 17 times a day. Bismillah. How does it mean? In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Okay, what is it? What does it mean? In the name of Allah. What in the name of Allah? So there's a ba. There's three words at the beginning. There's two words together. Bi, right? And then the word ism. Bi and ism, right? Then we have the word Allah. And another word Ar-Rahman, followed by the word Ar-Rahim. Tell me, what's the meanings of the word, or what do you think the root letters of the words Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim are? Ra, Ha, Mim. Of Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim? The same. Same root. Okay. So that ba there, you guys told me we translated as in. Ba usually means with in Arabic. Ba usually means with. So how do we understand this here? How do we understand it? One thing is translating it, but what understanding or meaning do we derive from that ba there? The understanding or meaning that we derive from it is that there's something omitted at the beginning of this sentence that's implied but understood because of that ba. It means I begin with the name of Allah, or I start, because ba has a meaning of isti'ana as well, of seeking assistance and help. I start seeking help and assistance from or with the name of Allah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Ism means what? Okay, you know noun, but the word ism also means name. Right, name. There's a construction happening there. Ismillah. Ismillah means the name of Allah. The name of Allah. So I begin with the name of Allah, or I begin seeking assistance through the name of Allah. Then those two words that come after it, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, they are adjectives, what we call in Arabic a sifa. Have you heard the word sifa before? In Nahu? No, not yet. You will learn it soon, inshallah. And then I should be able to ask you to deconstruct that sentence for me. Right? Those are adjectives for the word Allah. What do they mean? Ar-Rahman. Or firstly, you could already tell me that they have the root letters Ra, Ha, Mim. Ra, Ha, Mim. And what word do you know from there? Rahmah means mercy. So both of them have some relation to the word mercy. What other word do you potentially know from there? Perhaps more importantly, more seminal in your shaping your understanding of what the word means. Mercy can mean a lot of things, the English word mercy. The Arabic word is not mercy, the Arabic word is rahmah. Mercy can be very cold, isn't it? Like, for example, I have a king, he decides not to kill certain people. I have shown them mercy. That mercy is a correct usage of a word over there. It can be very cold. But the word, the root rahmah, and the root or the word ar-Rahman and ar-Rahim and ar-Rahimah shares its meaning with the word rahim. Rahimun. Rahim means a womb. Rahim means I don't know, I have one. It means a womb. So we said Arabic is, there's a reason why you should learn Arabic as opposed to just picking up a translation. Because all of the connotations of that word get lost when I just write it as mercy. So what understanding do you have of Rahim? Rahmah is that quality expressed by what is usually attached to the womb. So now when I think of Rahmah, I think not of the cold mercy of a king to his subject, but I think of the loving mercy of a mother for her child. Right? That's what the Rahmah means. That, I almost take the liberty to translate it for you as loving mercy. The more the warm mercy of a mother for their child. That's what the word means. And so, I think this, I don't want to just skip through it, but I was supposed to do Surah Al-Kawthar. But this is very important. Oftentimes our relationship with religion is one of fear, isn't it? I don't know, how do people rear their children? As in die doen, gaan ze Jahannam toe. Yeah? I was going to punish you. Isn't it? Oftentimes that's what people get into religion. It's like religion is a frightening thing. But how does Allah introduce Islam to us? How does Allah introduce Himself to us? The first thing He tells us about Himself, His name is Allah. But what must you know about Allah more than anything else? Right at the very beginning. He's Ar-Rahman and He's Ar-Rahim. Now, the words Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, essentially at the root, they have the same meaning, exact same meaning. But because of their forms, they have different connotations to them. Both of them are what we would call I would call it a hyperbolic form. In Arabic we call it Sighatul Mubalagha. Sighatul Mubalagha. When I can say something is good, better, best. Right? Those are like different degrees of comparison. Now, when you emphasize something to the nth degree, like you emphasize it infinitely, but not exaggerated. Like I can exaggerate something. I can say, that guy was as huge as a mountain. There's an element of untruth in that, isn't there? In terms of rhetorical benefit, what I'm saying, it's understood. He's a very big man. But there's an element of untruth in that statement because he's not really as big as a mountain. However, when I use this form, the Sighatul Mubalagha, I'm emphasizing something to the nth degree, to infinity, but there's not a iota of untruth in the statement. Now, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that He is the being that has rahmah. He is the being that has that loving mercy to the nth degree. But He doesn't say it once, He says it twice, with different connotations. So the word Rahman, that form fa'alan, has a connotation. And the connotation is of plenitude. Or plenitude. It's of abundance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that has, in terms of quantity, He has mercy to the nth degree. In terms of amount, He has infinite amounts of rahmah. And then the meaning of the word Rahim means also the one that has abundance of mercy, but it's referring to it in terms of time. He has eternal mercy. He has mercy that extends, it spans the length and breadth of time. So what that means is that Allah a more intuitive understanding or translation that people can actually relate to would be if you say, I begin with the name of Allah, the most merciful, or the infinitely merciful, the eternally merciful. More so, if you want, the infinitely lovingly merciful and the eternally lovingly merciful. So when Allah introduces Himself to you, to me, to us in the Quran, even at the beginning of Surah Fatiha, that's what Allah wants you to know about Him, before you know anything else. I begin with the name of Allah, the one who is infinitely lovingly merciful and eternally, lovingly merciful. Now, you'll find many translations for it based on different tafasir or different understandings of it. So some translations may say, the most merciful, the especially merciful. And there's a reason for that, because they say, you see, Allah has copious amounts of rahmah, which in this life He bestows on everyone. He gives to the believer and the disbeliever as well. For example, expressions of that mercy would be the comfort that we have, and the luxuries that we have, and the belongings that we have. And in this dunya, Allah gives to the believer and He gives to the non-believer as well. But in the hereafter, from the element of Allah's eternal mercy, from one aspect, His mercy, it spans the length and breadth of time. But in this dunya, it extends to both the believer and disbeliever. But in the next life, it's specific for the believer. And so they would translate it as the most merciful, the especially merciful. Why? Most merciful, the one who has mercy that encompasses everyone, and the one who has mercy that will be specific for the believers in the next life. So you may find that translation as well. Another potential translation would be, as you all know, the most merciful, or what's it? The beneficent, the merciful. I don't think most of us use the word beneficent in our day-to-day language, but essentially the meaning of it is as I told you now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that has infinite amounts of mercy, and whose mercy spans the length and breadth of time. In fact, it existed even before that. So that's it's a seminal verse. It's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces Himself to us in the Quran. And how Allah introduces Himself to us in the Quran should shape actually how we view the whole of Islam. In fact, the whole of everything in the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because everything that comes into this creation is created by who? By Allah. And Allah is who? The most lovingly merciful. So if we think, most of us will find ways to interpret the actions of our mothers in such a way that we see positivity and a good intention in it, isn't it so? My mother gives me a hiding. The person who has a good mother, there are, at times there may be mothers that are maybe abusive or whatever, but in general, on the norm, we'd assume the mother wants to discipline the child, she wants good for the child, she doesn't want to become a washout or vagabond or whatever. Right? Or we'd think that, she's keeping him away from some harm. She doesn't want him to inculcate bad habits. But when we understand this idea that rahmah shares its meaning with rahim, that woman, that element of loving mercy that a mother has, and we recognize that everything that comes into creation from the being that has that to infinite degrees, then we should have the ability to see everything that comes into creation in a positive light. More so than we are able to do with our own mothers. And the only thing that can actually thwart that mercy in relation to me is when I myself turn away from it. Is when I myself, by my own choice, choose to turn away from it. Rasulullah said in a hadith, everyone in my ummah will enter Jannah except those who refuse. Except those who, by their own volition, refuse. So the Sahaba asked him, قِيلَ وَمَنْ يَأْبَى يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ? Who on earth would refuse? So Rasul explained, مَنْ أَطَاعَنِي دَخَلَ الْجَنَّةِ وَمَنْ عَصَانِي فَقَدْ أَبَى. Whoever obeys me, he will enter Jannah. But whoever disobeys, he has refused. When he has refused by his action that mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of entering Jannah. So, okay, that took... Right. Okay, so that's extremely important. Why I went to that is, well, it's the beginning of every surah, it's part of tafsir, you must know what it means. We say it like more than we say anything else. And that's also why Rasulullah taught us that every action that does not start with Bismillah is an action that is cut off. It's an action that's futile. And so we should inculcate within ourselves that whenever we do something, we should start doing it with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And like I said, that ba has meaning. It either just means I'm starting with the name of Allah, it can also mean I'm starting seeking assistance from Allah. Just that ba has that meaning. So when we recognize that I'm doing something seeking assistance from Allah, or for the sake of Allah, then what we understand thereby, that my action must be in accordance with what Allah wants from me. Why would I start doing some action seeking assistance from Allah when I know it's something that Allah doesn't want me to do? That's insanity. Right? And so the very practice is something that should deter us from doing wrong if we inculcate it within ourselves. And then we're supposed to do Surah Kawthar, but our time is actually up. You know what Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim means now? So at least we know that it's extremely important. It's seminally important. It should shape our idea of life, the world, how we see Islam, how we see everything. And also importantly, what we pass on to others about Islam, what we pass on to our children about Islam. Right? Oftentimes, children know Allah as the punishing Allah. Whereas if you look at the names of Allah, that may be one or two, but the vast majority of them are names of beauty and of mercy and of kindness, etc. So this is what we must make known. We're in there for now. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wa akhiru da'wan alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. If there are any questions, are there any questions? What does inna mean? Inshallah we'll do that another day, inshallah. In there for now. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.